colorful today. T-shirt I'm wearing actually is from the Woodlands Chamber of Commerce, from the Taste of the Town. It's an event that happens every year in the Woodlands, hosted by the Chamber of Commerce. We get loads of restaurants there, thousands of people attend, and usually I volunteer there and I get a T-shirt. So I don't wear these outside, but I like color. So this is something I wear to kind of hang around the house, and some more T-shirts as well. So just in case you're wondering, if you weren't, well, you got some information you really didn't need, right? Today's reading is called The Gift of Love. So welcome back to another reading from the Science of Mind Daily Guides for the 15th of March, 2025. And of course, they're written this month by Reverend Margaret. And this is what she has to say about the gift of love. Love is an essence, an atmosphere which defies analysis, as does life itself. And that's from Ernest Holmes' Keys to Wisdom, and it's on page 80. And from the Science of Mind textbook, love is the central flame of the universe, nay, the very fire itself. Love is the central flame of the universe, nay, the very fire itself. That's on page 478 of the 1930s edition, and it's a pretty famous quote by Holmes, actually. It's quoted quite a lot. And this is what Reverend Margaret's got to say. Here we go. She's doing 3 spiritual gifts. Yesterday it was joy, today it's love, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. Another of our natural spiritual inheritances is love. In some respects, this is perhaps the most favored, the most sought after of our spiritual gifts. Why? Because it receives major attention most of the time. There's an unending stream of love songs, excuse me, stories and movies about love. He says, as I said in an earlier guide, we don't have to get love because it's part of our spiritual genetics. The late professor and author Leo Buscaglia once wrote a popular book called Love, in which he said that love is a learned phenomenon. And it is, insofar as we may need to learn how to love effectively, but not because we have to go find it somewhere. Love is perhaps the most wonderful experience spiritual beings share. And the interesting thing about it is that the more we give and receive love, the more there is to share. Could it be that in the mere exchange of love, we truly discover its expansive, infinite qualities? Most notably, uplift, compassion, energy, and healing. And there is great healing to be found in love, sometimes of the body, sometimes of our circumstances. It seems love and wisdom are a good pair because the heart of love needs to be directed by the mind of wisdom in order to bring real good into the world. And I've quoted this before by Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, but it's worth quoting again. It's worth quoting often. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin was a famous Jesuit. He was a mystic. He was a writer. He actually, when he was an old man, Jean Houston met him in New York. He was French-Canadian. He spent a lot of his time in New York, his later years. And Jean Houston, if you don't know who she is, go look her up. She's also pretty famous. When she was a little girl, she met this old man who turned out to be Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. He wrote a lot of mystical stuff. He wrote a lot of stuff that the Vatican didn't agree with. And in order to protect his writings, he gave the copyright to a friend of his, so the Vatican couldn't silence him. This is what he says about love. And I'm changing it to make it gender non-specific, okay? When humanity has conquered the wind, the waves, tides, and gravity, humanity shall conquer for God the energies of love. And then, for the second time in history, we will have discovered fire. And that's how important Pierre Teilhard de Chardin talks about love. there's really not an awful lot to add to that, except the fact that oftentimes our thoughts are not focused on love, they're focused on something else. And often when we hear the word love, we think about romantic love. We don't think about all the other expressions of love, sibling love, love of our country, just love in a greater level is what we're talking about here. Love in the highest level is what we're talking about. And if you go online and search for love and actually put in their Greek words for love, you're going to come up with a whole bunch. Some people will say there are 4 words in Greek. Some will say there's 7. Some will say there are 9. But there's a whole bunch. Lot like filial love is sibling love, for instance. Agape love is what we're talking about here, and erotic love is another one. So lots and lots of them. So I don't think it needs a lot of explanation, do you? It's something that we practice, and the way to practice it is to just be prepared to be open, be prepared to listen, and be prepared to listen to our inner wisdom, be prepared to listen to other people, be prepared to give people the what do you call it, the opportunity to express themselves. And just in general, it simply means to accept yourself, self-love, and to accept other people as they are. There's a big difference between like and love. You don't have to like someone. You don't have to like their principles. You don't have to like what they do. But you can love them, which means that you respect them at the deepest level as a human being. Lots of politicians out there that all different sides don't like. It doesn't mean to say they can't love them. They can accept that person for who they are. No way do you have to agree with their policies, their principles, or anything else, but you got to say, okay, this is a human being. I respect them as that. That's what I got to say. At, let me see, roughly 9:15 tomorrow morning, Reverend Lisa will be on. Then 11 o'clock in the morning, we have our service. Reverend Jesse will be speaking. Yeah, I think he's speaking this week. And then one of our practitioners, Jim Cantor, will be speaking on the last Sunday of the month. So tune in for that. It's always good to hear somebody new, right? Anyway, please take care of yourselves. Enjoy this gorgeous weather if you live in this part of the country. Be careful because there are lots of warnings here. There's wind warnings, there's fire warnings, so be careful. There's storm warnings across the country, so please take care wherever you are. If you're in this country or in another country, if the weather's great, enjoy it. If it's not, take heed of all the warnings. These days, we have no excuse. It comes on our phone, comes on TV, comes on the computer, comes everywhere. So until next time, this is the affirmation. As always, I'm the place where God stands forth in the world as me. I'm the place where God stands forth in the world as me. I'm the hands, feet, etc. of God. I am a true lover of life, and I am more than willing to share my spiritual love with others. I am a true lover of life, and I am more than willing to share my spiritual love with others. How about that? Remember, it's impossible to give without receiving. And when you give with a loving heart, with no expectation in return, it's amazing what wonderful things come back to you. And if you need help, if you need prayer, just let us know. For instance, if you're looking for a new job, if you're looking for a new partner, looking for a new house, whatever it turns out to be, we have practitioners who are trained to pray. That's what they are. They're professional pray people. We have ministers who can also help you. And generally, we are here to serve you, to help you. So until next time, namaste.